Philosophers have said that there are only 7 stories we keep repeating throughout history. Tonight, we're going to pick one and tell it again. This is The Treatment, a podcast about stories with your hosts Billy Beck, Cody Beck, and Mark Lucas. The Treatment was filmed before a live studio audience.
And now it's a dead studio audience.
No, we killed them.
We knocked them dead with our incredible adaptation of Beowulf.
So, I guess we should start with a little bit of inside baseball here. How the baseball gets made. Last time we were together, we recorded what I personally think was a phenomenal adaptation of Beowulf, the Proto-Germanic, arguably the oldest thing in written English. And there's a story about Pixar where apparently Toy Story 2, somebody had accidentally deleted the entirety of their files, essentially destroying Toy Story 2 before it could be finished. And luckily, one employee who had been away on maternity leave had a backup copy on her personal computer at home. And because of that, Toy Story 2 was saved and able to be produced. This did not happen to our recording of Beowulf.
Well, we have half a recording of Beowulf. I can put Cody into my raw audio out if you want me to, but you're going to miss about half the story.
We recorded for 2 hours, and at the end of it, I dusted my hands, said, "Great job, team. Let me just look at Audacity crashed an hour and 10 minutes ago." And I never noticed. But rather than wallow in despair for another untold amount of time, I think it would be good for us to do our first ever lost episode of The Treatment. So today, instead of reading a review of our last movie, instead of spinning the wheel, the spinning circle of stories, today we're going to try and remember as much as we can of our Beowulf story. And maybe even shine it up as we go along.
I think this is a good plan.
I agree.
To begin with, I believe that Beowulf was a suggestion from Cody.
Incorrect. It was my suggestion.
Oh, okay then. Bill?
It sounds like a Cody suggestion, though, right? So, Beowulf...
It does because it's ancient, but it doesn't because it's not Greek.
There we go. I don't respect the English. I don't respect the Proto-English.
So Beowulf, as Mark described, is one of the earliest pieces of English literature. I believe we all read it in high school, or were supposed to. And it is the story of the titular Beowulf, who arrives in town from abroad to help them with a problem they're having with a creature named Grendel, who keeps, eating people.
As one does.
So Act 1 of the story is Beowulf defeats Grendel and saves the town. And, kind of becomes king, but not yet. Because Act 2 is he goes to a cave and kills Grendel's mother. And then he becomes king, and some time passes, and then Act 3 is there's a dragon, and he's got to kill the dragon.
The dragon is a metaphor for old age, probably.
Maybe, depending on the version.
Everything is a metaphor. Women will kill you.
We go into a lot deeper depth on Beowulf in the episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast on the Robert Zemeckis film Beowulf, which you can find wherever you get your podcasts.
Rotoscope.
Plugs.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon. We said that within the first 5 minutes, so we get the extra listeners for that. So, a couple of things that I want to add, because I think it'll be helpful to add this at the beginning, at the top, instead of us remembering it partway through. Our protagonist is Beowulf.
Yeah.
The mead hall is called Heret. It is run by the king Hrothgar. Beowulf's friend is named... Wiglaf, and the other guy, who's just a straight-up bitch, is named Unferth.
And I believe we made the decision to keep all of the names identical because this is essentially a straight adaptation. We are just fucking with the setting.
Yeah. The names have remained the same. The setting has not.
What was the new setting?
I believe the setting was a combination of you and Bill coming up with the idea of Canyon City, which is a city that grew up out of the Grand Canyon in dystopian future America where the corporations rule all.
If I recall, it was a Nestle company town to start, where they were just basically taking the Colorado River and polluting the fuck out of it.
Yes.
And they've built a city from the canyon base to the tallest skyscrapers are just at the top of the canyon. So if you're riding along the desert, you can't even see the city until you approach the canyon. Which I think was a cool visual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to kind of zoom out a little bit farther and talk genre, cyberpunk, Blade Runner.
Not cyberpunk TM, but cyberpunk.
Yes. And in the lost recording, I had a little bit of a diatribe of annoyance that the genre takes its name directly from a product. It's not like there's a specific movie called Western or...
Well, to be fair, cyberpunk predates the video game.
Yeah, it goes back to... It was a tabletop game before it was a video game.
But also the genre of cyberpunk predates that.
It does.
Yeah, but they also trademarked the name, and a lot of people talk about cyberpunk, meaning the game, and not...
Bitches.
Yeah.
So, from now on, when we're making a specific reference to the video game or the tabletop game, we'll call it Cyberpunk TM. So this is a Cyberpunk, not TM, adaptation of Beowulf. And I believe that the opening sequence, like the opening credits and introduction, were... because we had to do a bit of work to set up the world. I think we had narration over a camera flying through an abandoned Vegas.
I think we do yeah, we did some narration. It was a camera through Vegas, abandoned Vegas, not Beauty and the Beast Vegas, but different Vegas. Explaining
if Vegas today were like Altoona today. Like there's people there, but it's not what it used to be.
So the camera flies through and explains that in this future, essentially corporations have taken complete control of the government instead of the shadow control of the government that they've had for the last 250 years. And now, like, basically, it sucks. And, like, company towns are back. Hence, Nestle growing a town out of the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon.
But I think we moved away a little bit from it being specifically Nestle and being only one city, or one corporation.
Yeah, no, the origin of the city was Nestle, but all the companies are part of it now.
What did we end up...
To the point where, like, I think the mayor is, like, just a middle manager at something Corp. We had a fake company name.
We did.
Evil Corp.
I think we straight up just called it Evil Corp. I don't think we ever gave them an official name.
Yeah, but, like, the mayor and city council are all, like, on the board of directors of Evil Corp.
And are officially just figureheads.
Yeah.
I believe there were 3 specific corporations, but the primary antagonist was Evil Corp.
But we don't find that out until, like, Act 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the first 2 acts take place in the same time frame, and then Act 3 takes place, like, 30 years later.
Yeah.
So there were 3, like, warring companies in the background trying to seize control of Canyon City for the first 2 acts. But by Act 3, it's become clear that Evil Corp has won.
Yeah. And I believe that after we had our narration, we started following a gentleman clocking out from his shift at the water factory. We had also decided that the stratification of the city was literal based on class, so the poorest people worked in the lowest levels.
Mm.
So we followed a gentleman who was essentially clocking out of his shift at the water factory, and he put on some sort of futuristic jacket that was covered in LEDs, and he was essentially became a walking signboard. Walking
billboard as part of gig work.
Yes.
Like, you'll see guys with, like, passenger vehicles now that have little LED screens on them when they drive on the highway, and they get a couple bucks per trip for having them on.
Yep.
Same thing, but just walking home from work. And everyone around him is also doing it because, that's where we're at.
I believe he was also using not fantasy, sci-fi DoorDash.
Yeah. He was gig working on his phone. If I recall correctly, his phone was a little bit shittier than everyone else's, and his LED jacket had some, dead bulbs.
Yes, that is also something that I recall as set dressing.
And we watched him on his way home, and then I believe he turns down a dark alley and gets snatched up and killed?
Well, we don't know if he was killed.
Black bagged.
Black bagged, that's the term.
Yes.
We just see, like a group of shady commandos shove a bag over his head and take off with him, maybe even rappelling up into, a waiting hover van.
I feel like we don't want to see too much of the mechanism this early, because we're going to have that scene later. Spoilers, we're going to have a scene later where Beowulf, fights one of these flying drone capture machines, so...
More spoilers, these guys are our Grendel.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the shock of just... guy walking home, not totally paying attention to what's going on around him. He's just finished his whatever gig he's doing, and then all of a sudden, the violence of someone grabbing you, black bag, cut.
Yeah.
And I think they strip him of his LED vest, his sign thing, and leave that on the ground as they take off. We don't see where they go. We just see this is all that's left of that guy.
Because, of course, in the LED jacket, there's trackers, because it needs to be able to figure out where you're going and figure out and calculate how many steps you've taken.
I like that headcanon. He's not going to get paid much for this walk.
See, and I think Evil Corp has, a way to jam those signals. They just don't want to deal with having this light thing with them now.
Yes.
But either way, that guy had a not a family, but a mom.
I think it was a neighbor.
Yes.
A neighbor he was friendly with, because he had no family, and that's why he was targeted.
Right.
And we slid into essentially a Godfather-esque opening where they're at Hjorat, and we meet Hrothgar for the first time.
And our Hjorat is a nightclub.
Yes.
Called Hjorat, in the lower middle level.
Yes.
The upper lower middle level.
Level 3 of 7 or 8?
Nah,
yeah.
Level 3 of 10.
Okay.
Upper lower middle. So his neighbor goes to Hrothgar, who we had kind of set up. He's not one of the corpos. He's definitely not civilian. He's the leader of, a criminal organization.
Yeah.
He's king of the Danes.
It's a criminal organization because laws are threats made by a leading socioeconomic class in any given civilization. Is that the Brendan Lee Mulligan line?
Close enough.
It's illegal, it's illegal, but it's not immoral. They do, for lack of a better term, Robin Hooding. A little...
I mean, hey, let's be real.
Fucking with the corporation to feed the people.
The reason we have fucking expiration dates on milk is because of Al Pacino. So even if what he is doing is immoral, there can also be good shit happening.
Al Capone.
Al Capone, thank you.
It's what, did he get sick and write a mean tweet?
Yes.
The guy from Scarface did not put expiration dates on milk. I just want to... The guy from those Dunkachino commercials?
Say hello to my little date!
Chocolate blend! So anyway, the neighbor goes to Hrothgar in Hjorat and asks him to do something, because their neighbor has disappeared, and the police aren't gonna do shit, and I don't know where else to turn to. Please, Hrothgar. And he gives this neighbor some, I'm picturing her as an old Italian lady.
Yeah, definitely that vibe.
He gives her some not satisfactory, we're gonna look into it, we'll see what we can find, and sends her away.
And then there was a little conversation with him and his, not Unferth, but kind of Unferth.
I think we established that it was Unferth.
Okay. So Unferth, the second in command, who's basically hey man, this is the third person in the last month. These disappearances are happening more frequently. We need to look into it. Or we need to get a solution soon.
And I think we even had some mention of him being in contact with the other gangs throughout the city. That, it's not just us. it's happening all over.
I think we established like a radio network that they were using because they were using some like lo-fi analog tech to communicate because it like was hard to record, couldn't be like traced as easily.
I believe it was
ham radio
and shit. And they were using that to communicate with the other gangs in town, and that's how Beowulf found out, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here is where, when they start communicating deaths and stuff after this scene, is where Beowulf gets introduced.
Yes.
So now I guess this is how we introduce our hero Beowulf.
As I recall, it was like that scene in Napoleon Dynamite where Grandma breaks her coccyx riding dune buggies.
I never saw Napoleon Dynamite.
You've never seen a movie, we're aware.
I've never seen any movies. When I was in high school, everybody loved Napoleon Dynamite, so I rented it from the video store. But then I got really, really sick and was like high on cold medicines, so I only stayed awake for the first 10 minutes. So I've never seen Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know the scene you're referring to.
So I feel like this is a slight deviation from our previous version. But hey, that's what the Lost episode is for. I feel like it might be a little too on the nose for the vibe of what we're doing here, but if that conversation with Unferth and Hrothgar ends with them talking about we need to find a solution and soon, and then we just all of a sudden cut to the desert and Beowulf is riding up.
Beowulf's hitting some sick tricks off some jumps on his new dune buggy.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of how we're introduced to him.
If I recall, the dune buggies were like not purchased. They were like built by these guys out of scrap, and they were testing new engines.
Beowulf built this dune buggy in a cave with scraps.
Our Beowulf is an outlander and a nomad.
Yes.
The communist tribes of the desert.
And we established his relationship with Canyon City was his dad had stayed, someone in his family had stayed there previously, and that's how he that's why he decided to give a shit at all.
Yeah, I think his dad was originally part of Hrothgar's gang, and then escaped with the commies.
I think that's something that we had added just to make it rhyme more with the original, because
yeah.
I think that what's more important to Beowulf, and I mean his motivation for our adaptation, he wants to be a legend.
Yes.
And he doesn't really care where his dad was or where his dad came from, but he's going to make a name for himself in Canyon City, because there's adventure to be had there. He wants fame and fortune, not for themselves, but for his own legend.
I could even combine the two and see him wanting to help in Canyon City because of his ties there. It will make the legend stronger. It would add a prodigal son element to his legend if he comes back and saves the town.
See, I don't think that our Beowulf thinks that far ahead. And so I think that's something that stays, like, inside.
Or that's something that his buddy, what's his name?
Wiglaf.
Maybe that's something that Wiglaf thinks of, or says to convince him in a line of dialogue, or something like that.
Yeah. But our Beowulf is the kind of guy that he wants to be the person that people tell stories about.
And when he hears the story on the ham radio of an unknown force, a monster, and the word Grendel is whispered around as its name, he sees an opportunity and goes to pounce on it.
I don't think they're verbally ever called Grendel. At most, it's like a patch on their jackets.
It's like the 4 letters on the back of their jackets are GRN. Wait,
Grundle.
GRNDL. That's 5 letters.
Grundle.
The Tate. The Grendel. The Fleshy Fun Bridge. New title for the movie.
So, we cut from Unferth talking about communicating with the other gangs over the ham radio, cut to Beowulf and his... It's not the whole tribe, it's just like his war band.
It's like 6,
him
7
and his guys. Yeah. Just hauling ass, tooling, having fun, and proving their off-roading machines. And it's Wiglaf who hears the radio broadcast. So when Beowulf comes to a screeching stop in front of Wiglaf. He jumps out and he's like, the new engine works great. And I don't know, so Bill, you're the motorsports guy. He says some motorsports things.
Something, fix the brake differential, and I'll win the race. I don't know.
And then Wiglaf tells him, hey boss, listen to this. There's some trouble down in Canyon City. And Wiglaf convinces Beowulf that there's some kind of enemy to be fought, and that's really all Beowulf needs. There's someone who needs fighting. Is he stronger than me? Let's prove it.
Like, he gets that glint in his eye, and maybe a quick remark of, we'll worry about the brake differential later, hops in the dune buggy and just peels off towards the canyon.
And Unferth, just barely jumping in the bed as he's peeling out.
Or Wiglaf, you mean?
Yes, Wiglaf. Wiglaf, these names. Wiglaf jumping in the bed, just barely making it because he knows this isn't the first time Beowulf's done something like this.
Yeah, and then the rest of the guys around are, oh shit, let's go! And they all get into their vehicles and peel off, join the fun. And then I think we had him just show up at the club.
Yep, so he shows up at Hjorut. The next shot, I think the next shot was another kind of Godfather-y bit in a darkened Club Hjorut, as they are, as Hrothgar is meeting with the heads of the other gangs. And this, I think, can be a very interesting visual as we see, we get no information about them, but maybe there's one gang that's all, cyber tech shit. They like Google glasses and Nintendo Power Gloves and... yeah, like a way too techie gang.
You've got the Deus Ex, themed gang, you've got the Cyberpunk TM themed gang. You've got one of the gangs from Saints Row 4.
It's just a gang of cowboys. I think that can be just a fun, quick pan around the table. But none of them know what to do, because I want Beowulf to kick in the door.
Yeah.
I feel like Beowulf enters every room by kicking in doors.
If he's not entering a room foot first, he's entering it dick first.
Or head first, getting thrown.
Yeah, that's true. So he kicks in the door. I hear you got a problem, boys. Grabs a chair, flips it around backwards, sits on it the cool way.
I was thinking instead we do one of those where they set him up. Something like, I don't know what's doing it, but somebody's taking our people. Kicks in the door, and I'll kill it.
I like that.
Not that specific. That one's kind of clumsy, but you know what I'm aiming for. Like that.
Something that the next day you're thinking, was he just outside the door listening, waiting for a moment to enter?
It's just been revoked. Like that kind of badass. And maybe this is where we see a little bit of that Hrothgar and Beowulf's dad used to be bros. Well, do my eyes deceive me? Friends, you may not know this. We're blessed today. Young Beowulf has come to visit.
I could even see, all it needs is a quick cut to two of the other gang members, and one whispers to the other, oh, that's Dada Wolf's kid. Dada Wolf. And, that's all the actual, dialogue we would need about it. Just establishes, oh, his dad had a history with these people, and he's in good standing. Done.
Yes, except I think we need more from Hrothgar.
Oh,
specifically because Hrothgar is going to, explain what's been happening, at least briefly.
Oh, yeah. No, Hrothgar's going to explain the situation, but establishing Beowulf as a prodigal son of the city is just one line of dialogue. Boom, back to the task at hand.
But it colors Hrothgar's interaction with him.
Yeah. It explains why he's, so friendly and, godfatherly, not TM, towards Beowulf.
Uncle Hrothgar.
Yeah.
Come, boy, and Uncle Hrothgar will tell you the troubles. And then I think as he voiceovers a quick series of cuts of all sorts of people getting black-bagged, mysteriously. It doesn't matter. Recently, they've been getting more bold. Even in the daytime, even in the middle of the street, people get taken. They've even taken one of ours.
I think we established originally it was like homeless people getting black bagged, and then it started becoming people with families, and I think children might have been the last straw.
And they took one of our soldiers. All we got is this scrap of this patch, and we can see like when they take the soldier, the gang member, he has a switchblade, and he puts up a little bit of a fight, and that's why he's able to like cut off the patch before they take him.
Yeah, okay.
And the patch is, it's got the Evil Corp signature, or not signature, Evil Corp, like, logo? Or do we not even want to connect that yet?
We don't connect that yet. It's the Grendel team.
Yeah.
It's just like the letters GRENDL, no second E, GRENDL, in a circle, and like a monstery face in profile.
Yeah. Was it Team Grendel or Project Grendel?
I think they're the Grendel team, and the project had a different name. I don't think we gave a name to the project.
Because that was Grendel's mother.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. It's coming back. It's coming back. So if I recall, our brash Beowulf hears the story of what's happening and goes, I'll get it. And as in the original story, says that he will defeat Grendel naked. And I believe that's how we get him to fight a drone.
Yes. We had him basically declare, I will walk buck-ass naked down the city streets until they fight me. And his team members, on the other hand, were going to stay and help build... Oh, no, that was after. After the fight. You're right. Because they have one fight to begin with.
Yes. Because I think the in-universe logic behind it was if they were originally going after homeless people and vagrants and nuisances, he was going to cause a nuisance. And it was just like walking buck-ass naked through like Town Square, I think. Or not Town Square, Market Street.
Yes, he was going to do that, but it was going to be, he was going to go up a level from where they were.
Yeah, he was going to go up to a little higher class from the dirt basement where these people are normally getting snatched.
Yes.
And then, yeah, he goes up on this kind of, not so much a walk as like a rant, doing his best insane impression to draw attention, draw aggro, and get Grendel on his ass. And when, I want to say 4 members of the Grendel team, they rappel down from their hover van. This is where we actually see where they're coming from.
And it was like a sized up version of like a camera drone, like one of those four rotor drones.
Yeah, it's like a quad. It's not like a hover van, but it's like a quadcopter.
Yeah, that's got like a big cabin in the middle that can hold a few guys, and that's what they're snatching people with and extracting them up.
And I think that this is a somewhat ordinary thing in Canyon City for the rich. Like, this is what their cars are, but only the super rich take them.
Because at the top of the canyon, if you're on the east wall, you're like a mile from the west wall. So yeah, you take your little copter over. But at the bottom of the canyon, you just cross the street, right?
I'm getting like, I don't know if I said this in the last one, but I'm getting like Hunger Games vibes from this in terms of like District 12 versus the Capitol. Like that's the divide, the visual divide.
Like the color of the bottom of the canyon is brown and it's like sheen white at the top. Mm-hmm. It's like that kind of gradient going up in terms of like design.
Hover cars, in addition to going across, also up and down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to walk your ass up however many steps if you're at the bottom. But if you're at the top, you can just shoot right to any level, anywhere in Canyon City.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that we need to establish that Beowulf is actually tactically gifted. Like, he is a good soldier and a good fighter. So, while he's doing his insane impression, I kind of want to do a thing where he notices the quadcopter and, like, plays it up a little bit more.
Quadcopter and cameras. He notices, like, the cameras focusing on him.
Yeah, we see him notice things.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point he signals to one of his guys to, like, move up a level or something.
Yeah. Because
or drops code in his ramblings.
He motions for his guys to hold back. This is his fight.
Yeah.
While he is a brash and, some would think crazy fighter, he is actually very good at this shit. And I think we need to establish that here. Like, he's not just talk.
Yeah. And I think we established that both by showing him, like, noticing the things, and then beating the shit out of, like, between 4 and 6 secret agents.
And I don't think it should be difficult for him. I think it should be not necessarily a cakewalk, but I'm thinking this should be like an early John Wick fight. Like, this is not even a fight. He's enjoying this.
Yeah, these are guys that are not prepared to fight and go up against somebody who has been preparing for this fight for his whole life.
This is like the end of Yakuza 3 when you get the magic gun.
They took that out in Kiwami.
Oh,
Yeah. When I played 3 remastered like an adult, I beat the Ammon fight first and then got the golden gun and just shot my way through with unlimited ammo till the end of the game. And it was fun.
So yeah, this is like an early... Again, I've never seen John Wick, any of them. But this is like an early John Wick, or like in any Yakuza game, like Chapter 4 finale, but you're playing on New Game Plus with, like, the end level skills. You're just fucking tiger dropping every single guy.
this is the beginning of Kiwami. When
Yes.
Kiryu is still young and super great at stuff.
Yes. So we've got these, like, 4 to 6 Grendel operatives thinking this is going to be a cakewalk, and then he starts just waffle stomping them.
Like, using dudes to beat up other dudes.
Mm-hmm. And the fight ultimately ends with, like, at least one of them knocked out, and maybe even up to 3 left behind as the rest flee in the drone copter.
I thought, like, only one tried to escape in the drone copter, and they bring it down. I think he takes down the drone.
Because that's how they find out and get more information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they're able to hack the drone's computers to figure out who it's working for, what it's doing, where it's going.
You've got, in my head, I don't know if I ever communicated this last time, but it's like Wiglaf and Unferth are like the techie guys, and they're the ones that are working together, even though they, like, don't get along. But they begrudgingly respect each other's skills.
Yeah.
The trope.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and maybe we're moving, this is something that I'm polishing up from the original. I think the drone gets away the first time, like now. But later, when he tells Hrothgar and his guys how to organize to fight them off, it's ultimately Wiglaf and Unferth that get a tracker on one of the drone copters. Because Beowulf is kind of a dumbass. Like, he's a brilliant tactician, brilliant fighter, moron.
We kind of just made him Kiryu. Oops.
Oh no! One of my favorite characters in gaming.
Let's budge him away from Kiryu and closer to, like, Saejima.
Yeah, that's actually closer.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. He's not quite a himbo.
But so he has a couple of Grendel guys knocked out, and you think they're going to interrogate them. They bring them back to Hjarut to interrogate them. And then they all, when they come to, we get them getting asked a couple of questions. And they say something like, something cryptic, "You'll never discover our plans. You can't stop us."
The snake has many heads.
And then they all kind of seize up and die. And, like, they've got that cyanide pill molar thing.
If you want to do a corpo-fascist future version of I'll Never Tell, sorry guys, I signed an NDA. And then he bites the capsule.
See, I'm not sure if it's even them doing it or them being marked off or written off by the corporation. If they're activating their suicide molar or if the company is.
I like the idea of the company doing it, and I kind of like the idea of them using corporate jargon bullshit to count down because they know there's a timer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the last thing they say is, we're about to clock out, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they know, for the future, there's a time limit on how much time they have for these guys, if this happens again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a montage, again narrated by Hrothgar, of Beowulf and his gang teaching the teaching the Danes how to fight specifically these Grendel teams. And then them fighting and driving them off. and ending with Vigloff and Unferth planting a tracker on the helicopter, the quadcopter drone.
Yeah, and I feel like there should be a time of peace that's unclear, like how long the time frame is, like maybe a week or two.
Yeah, a decent amount of time where the threat seems to have passed.
Because that's when Grendel's mother needs to come back, and that's when the actual Beowulf's team gets yanked.
I remember the reason why I remembered they actually take out one of the drones is because the whole Grendel's arm thing from the original.
Oh,
and one
yeah.
of the quadcopter things is like maybe when the town sets up their defenses and traps, some of them get away and they manage to track one getting away, but they do take out one and they like hang like the broken off rotor as a trophy at the club. Like they hang that on the wall.
So it's because of Vigloff and Unferth that they ultimately track where the Grendel teams are coming from. And it's Evil Corp, like R&D level, where they're working on some kind of something where people go in and they don't come out. And like Bill said, at some point, all of Beowulf's guys, except for Vigloff, get taken at once. And that's his impetus to go and rescue them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we lead into the fight with Grendel's mother.
Yeah.
And reveal what Grendel's mother actually is. Did we specify how he gets there?
He steals a quadcopter, I thought.
Because his guys get taken, and so he's like, fuck this, I'm getting my guys back. And so I think both Unferth and Vigloff go with him.
I remember him, and this might have only happened in my head and not on the recording, but I remember him like jumping off one of the levels and grabbing like the skid at the bottom of a van and reaching up into it and pulling the guy out and swinging up in and punching the other guy in the face to take control of the...
I believe you did actually mention that because I think you cited The Incredibles.
Probably. That sounds like an Incredibles thing. It
feels like the scene where Mr. Incredible is infiltrating the base after he's supposedly been killed by the Omnidroid. Like, this is, I think that's a parallel scene. Like, he's doing sneaking, but he's not really sneaking.
He's not sneaking, he's acting with pace and purpose. And, like, okay, the fastest way to get there is in this drone, and this is the closest drone. And the only way to get into it is for me to jump off the edge of this railing, grab the skid, reach up, pull the guy out, punch the other guy in the face as I swing in, and then I got the drone. Then I can fly up to R&D.
Yes. I do think he had at least Vigloff or Unferth, because they do something with the tech to get him into the room. Because he tries to, like, brute force it, and he can't quite do it.
I think originally we had them, like... override. I think they captured a drone, and then they had them override the software to get him there. I think that's how we did it originally, but I kind of like the more actiony, just straight up Die Hard 4 into a helicopter.
So the quadcopter brings him to this. It's a garage first in the R&D, just where it enters into the building, and I think. I think we kind of glossed over a lot in this part, so I want us to nail it down a little bit more.
So I have an idea here for some visual storytelling. What normally happens when these copters come in is whoever's in the copter gets processed.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see what that looks like. So what are they doing? And the audience isn't going to know the full extent of it yet, but it's going to hint to the audience that, spoilers, Grendel's mother is a super AI that uses actual brain scans of living people to fund its
a soul cube.
Capabilities.
The souls go in the cube.
Yeah. So what does processing for that look like? And I imagine you've got a few, like, for lack of a better term, TSA style lanes where like things happen, and then there's like maybe some laser scanners there, or it could even just be a fucking conveyor belt with brain things that attach on as it goes through. I don't know, but we would either see this like in action or enough of it to know that it's not good what the people are brought up here for. But they're also not being killed. There's not bodies.
Well, yeah,
that we see.
You don't need the bodies.
See, I'm just Googling a thing to make sure this is what I think it is. In the video game Quake, the enemies are Strogg. In Quake 4, I think it is, there's a really fucked up portion where your character gets strogified, and it's like he's strapped on like a conveyor machine, and like his legs get buzzsawed off, and it surgically implants things, and it's very unpleasant.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it kind of looks like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the energy I'm going for.
Yeah. Like, Beowulf might not know exactly what all of these things are for, because they're not currently in use, but oh boy, do they look unpleasant.
Except instead of with strogification, it's like your body matters, and that's why I'm just going to quote the manual. A brutal surgical process, the limbs and flesh of the fallen are fused with metal. We don't care about the flesh. We just want to get the lumpy brain meats and as much human soul as we can squeeze out of it into this computer.
All right, so I'm imagining something with straps to hold the body still, and then something overhead with a lot of with a dome shape, so you know it's for a head, and with a lot of pointy parts, so you know it's going in the head.
Yeah.
Do you?
And wait, if he's chasing, if this is right after all of his dudes get took, maybe as he gets in there, he sees the last of his guy go like through a curtain to the next room, screaming in fear.
Mark, I know you've never seen a movie. Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
The alien that eats the brains.
Yeah.
I want something like that. I want something that goes in a way that you can't tell that it's going in until you're looking at it. I want alien. I want face huggers. I want violation.
Then maybe that's like the last guy that we see as we're entering this room, and Beowulf turns and sees little Jimmy, the new member of the crew, as like the thing is lowering onto his face, and you see as he's screaming, something goes into his mouth.
Yes.
And then he gets like pulled by the conveyor belt behind a curtain into the next room, and you never see him again.
Yes.
You just know that something fucked is happening to him there.
Yes.
And aesthetically, this should all be like surgically clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like this isn't like a Saw grimy murder basement. This is like laboratory.
Like
Yes.
he sees this all through glass. Maybe he only hears like the muffled scream because he's still on the helicopter side and he has to go through like one of those like the sterilization chambers between the outside and the inside of the lab. And it's like there's doctors in fucking lab coats with clipboards making notes as his buddy is screaming.
So, how tragic do we want this to be?
Not extremely, just in terms of tone. I think ultimately we want this to have like a more light, adventure-y kind of tone.
More 300, less horror movie.
Yeah, it's not quite horror, but it's action.
See, I was thinking, like, in the sterilization chamber, there are, like, some... What's the, like, PPE? Like, protective equipment for, like, you know, a sterile lab. And at first he puts it on, and it, like, disguises him as another scientist. But he can't keep it up for very long before he starts kicking ass on the other side. So, like, Dr. Beowulf, PhD, walks into the room. One of the scientists asks him a question about the morphinization process. He stumbles through a response and then just cold cocks him. Like, I think that's closer to the tone.
Like, as he's going through this first room, like, he does one of those beats of, like, oh, have you seen Dr. Madison? And you just put, like, oh, over there, you know, like, something like that. And as he's walking away, you hear, like, wait, who is that guy? And he goes, oh, shit, gotta run. Books it to the nearest door, opens it, closes it behind him, and he's in the security office. And then he's like, alright, fuck it. And he just starts punching.
Okay.
He could even use the PPE as, like, weapons or, like, Jackie Chan that shit.
Yeah.
Like, he has the big visor, and he uses it to, like, deflect a punch, and he, like, slaps a guy with it, and then the pointy side of it into somebody else's throat, you know, because he's violent. And then by the end of the fight, he's defeated all the generic security guards at that part of the lab, and he's back to his normal outfit.
And when he exits the security room, does he fight any of the scientists?
No, because he's going through the security room to another part of the lab. He's not going back out.
Okay. When he gets out there, does he fight science people?
I would see it as one of those things where the science people are, like, afraid of the fighting.
At no point anywhere in the movie does he ever shoot or use a gun.
No, he's all fists.
Yeah. Maybe he can use weapons later, but never guns. Like,
He's all fists and improvised weapons.
yes.
Dragon of Dojima style.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking he comes out of the security room into the hardened inner lab, and I'm picturing there being some scientists in there, like nameless background type guys, and he just kind of announces his presence and says, "This lab is closed until further notice."
And all the dweebs run away.
I don't know if they run away or if he needs to directly threaten them first. You know?
This is a shot for one of those Arnold Schwarzenegger ass one-liners. Like, I got nothing, but
see, right now I'm thinking of a Rainier Wolfcastle bit where they say, "Here we do things by the book," and then he shoots the regulations and says, "By book."
Like punching exterminator, and I see a whole lot of lab rats today, and then half of them go, "Oh shit, he's good." And as he's like flexing his knuckles, then half of them fuck off back from whence he came, and then a few stay and square up and get absolutely demolished.
See, I'm thinking he steps out of the security room, and he announces that, like, "Attention, Evil Corp employees. This laboratory has been marked for immediate termination." And at first, nobody reacts. So he goes up to a lab, like, table with a whole bunch of, like, machines on it, and it's clearly bolted to the ground. And he grabs it and just fucking Hulk lifts, tears it out of the setting, and throws it into a plate glass, like, thing. Like a big glass tank, and shatters it with his muscles. And that's what gets everybody's attention. They're like, "We should leave now." Like, he breaks something in an impressively physical way. And that's what scares the scientists out.
Yeah.
Along with a dry, cool wit Schwarzenegger one-liner that I
definitely agree with him wrecking some lab equipment. Like Chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Exactly like Chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Just something crazy like that gets everyone's attention. And then the company has announced some layoffs, and if you do not lead, I will lay you off in a stretcher. I don't know, that was a terrible Arnold. And terrible pun.
We're really struggling with this one-liner.
This is a hard one.
"Attention, Evil Corp employees. Funding for this project has been pulled. Please cease your operations and evacuate the area." Nobody reacts. It's a sink. He tears a sink out from the wall and smashes a glass, like, cryo tank with it. "Please exit the lab before you are liquidated."
Yeah! There we go.
And that's when they flee.
I like that.
Then he goes to find his guys. And maybe he, like, opens tanks and looks inside as the room starts getting darker. And as these words are said, like, somewhere off screen, a light flickers. "You won't find them." And he looks around to see, like, who's speaking, but he's alone in the room. And this is where we get the computer. This is ultimately Grendel's mother.
I was gonna say the tanks end up just being coolant for the computer.
Yes. And maybe some of them are even full of brain juice, which we're not going to explain at all.
Yep. Correct.
This is the human soul brain goo that they've been harvesting. And the computer mainframe, like, lights up as it speaks. You know, like Hal. Like John Henry Eden. Like any pop culture computer character. "You're searching for your comrades, are you not? You will not find them. They have already been assimilated."
There's a better word than assimilated there. Downloaded?
Consumed?
Entered. There's data entry?
Yeah, that feels gross.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Especially with the mask thing that we already saw.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a better word than entered.
I was thinking that word can, like, open the door to him, for him to request clarification as to what she means by entered, and then...
Enmeshed.
Ooh.
They've already been enmeshed. What do you mean, enmeshed? Incorporated into the system. They are no longer physical beings. They are a part of the project. What is the project? You're looking at it.
I almost want her to be like, the project is me. Like, you're looking at it, I am the project.
And in this tense kind of back and forth, he gets the machine to explain the whole lay of this evil scheme with the brain goo and...
I think I kind of want him to lash out at an object as she's explaining, and this is the first time we see her react to something, because he damages her. Like, he kicks the brain goo and creates a crack, and that's what, like, the first time she raises her voice.
I was thinking, like, he catches her monologuing, and while she's monologuing, he looks around the room and he recognizes, okay, these tanks are coolant, these tanks are brain juice, or they're marked data.
You sly dog, you got me monologuing.
Yeah, and while she's monologuing and distracted, like, he doesn't, like, rig anything, but he makes his plan to, like, okay, if I fuck up this coolant enough, she'll overheat.
See, I don't think he thinks that far ahead. I think that after she monologues for a little bit so that we get exposition for the audience, he just starts smashing things. And it just so happens that the things that he smashes are important things. And I want to tie this to 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I've never seen. But I think there's a part where a robot becomes stupider while a human does a thing.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it.
I think it's like that scene, except David is a chimpanzee on steroids.
I want there to be an exchange where she just yells, "You're killing them," and he's like, "They're already dead. This existence is worse than death."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a part of his uninstalling HAL 9000.
Yeah. I also want this to be a... Fuck, neither of you have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, have you?
Nope.
I've never watched TV in my life.
So, one of the main villains has a legendary breakdown at the end of the series. And I want the robot to have that breakdown where, like, at first she's cool and collected, and then when he starts smashing stuff, yes, she's getting stupider, but she's also getting more emotional. And I want that to read in the actor's performance. And so I want it to escalate to the point where it's like, you're killing them, you're killing me. And he's like, this is not life. You're killing me, you're killing them, you're killing your friends. My friends are already gone. You told me that. This is not existence.
I want the first one of those is like as she's monologuing and he just grabs something heavy and starts smashing a tank, and she's like, "Wait, stop it! That'll hurt me." And he's like, "If it'll make you shut up." So I watched a movie the other day called Downhill Racer, and there's a scene where Robert Redford is coming to the understanding that the relationship isn't what he thought it was, and she's talking about her wonderful Christmas that she had without him, and he just they're in a car, and he just reaches over and honks the horn until she shuts up and leaves. And it's like that kind of just like, shut up, please just shut up. I'll just start breaking things. I'll break things till you shut up. Like that is the impetus to set him off.
And one thing that I'm not sure exactly what to do with this, but my thought is that she is incredibly powerful, and yet she's just a machine, like, bolted to the floor. She can't move. She can't do anything to defend herself. It's just, I'm gonna talk words at you, and expect you to talk words back at me.
I'm going to defeat you with the power of logic.
And that does not work.
Logic is always defeated by fists.
I love what we have, like, blending all of this together. She's gonna defeat him with logic. He starts lashing out physically. She tells him, "Stop, that will hurt me." And he's like, good, then I'll do it more. She gets dumber and more emotional. The violence of man. Baby, I ain't even started yet.
The violence of man versus the passivity of women. We're accidentally a gender.
And then culminating it with, like Cody had laid out, if you do that, you will kill your friends. They're already dead. You said so yourself. I don't know what this mesh system is, but it's not life, and I'm not gonna condemn my friends to it. And ultimately, maybe Grendel's mother dies singing Daisy.
That's a bit on the nose.
It is, but, like, I still like it.
There's gotta be a better... She goes out singing the song from Portal. Still alive from Portal. This was a triumph.
So anyway, he kills Grendel's mother, and when he goes back out to the garage that he came in, he opens the door, and I want to say that, like, Vigloff and Unferth are just there in a hover car ready to take him away.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to explain that part. This is... We just had a peek. We get a little bit of quiet time now. He goes back to Hurot. They have a big-ass party for celebrating. They don't even know exactly why they're celebrating, but they know that whatever it is, they just won.
Yeah. I think we need to have some emotional relief for some characters as well. Like, we have that neighbor find out... Like, we see her find out what happened to the guy from the beginning. And maybe she, like, weeps into somebody's arms, you know? Like, let these characters have their closure as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But amidst that is the old, like, telling stories and everyone's drinking and, you know, that traditional mead hall experience.
Yeah.
In its cyberpunk future form.
Yeah. And then I think we get more of Hrothgar narrating as Beowulf leaves the city to go back to the Outlands as a conqueror, as a victor. And, you know, he grows older, adventuring in the wilds. Meanwhile, the cities, the balance has shifted in the city, and Evil Corp, you know, with the death of the Grendel's Mother program, a number of executives were unceremoniously terminated, and the new board of directors pursues some violent acquisitions of, you know, corporate speak as they take over the city and consolidate power, and introduce a new project titled Dragon, an android, which we don't know yet is powered by all of the soul, like, brain goo soul data that Beowulf thought he destroyed but didn't.
Hey, the cloud is forever.
Everyone who says the internet's forever, give me my fucking MySpace back.
I'm glad the internet isn't actually forever. Because let me tell you something, my MySpace was some fucking cringe.
I may be cringe, but I am free, which I believe is the thesis of this movie.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, Beowulf comes back. Why does he come back to the city?
I believe he was just passing through, was he not?
Okay. That makes sense.
Because I think he comes back...
He comes back as an old man with a new crew.
Yeah. And I think he comes back and just, like, stops in to see... He basically stops in to see if they built a statue of him yet.
And they did, didn't they?
No. That's after.
Ah, you're right.
You gotta die first, then you become a legend. But I think he swings in and...
Does Beowulf leave? Because I think he became the new Hrothgar, the new king of the Danes gang.
He did in the story. We still had him leave in our version, though. I mean, we can discuss that. We can have him stay.
I mean, his whole deal is, like, traveling and freedom. So it makes sense to have him travel, because he has now proven his leadership, and Hrothgar can now rule peacefully. Because even in the original story, he doesn't become the king of the Danes, he becomes the king of the Geats. He goes home and becomes king there.
Yeah, I think it's a stronger choice to have him leave and come back.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to push back on something that Cody said. His thing isn't traveling. I mean, maybe in the story, the original. Ours is he wants to be a legend.
Well, yeah. I mean, his motivation is he wants to be a legend, but his vibe is, as a nomad, is I'm not tied down to any one particular place.
Yeah. And I would think wanting to be a legend, there's nothing he can do in Canyon City anymore that would make him legendary. He's done his feats there. He's going to be a legend there now in his mind. Time to move on to the next town and become a legend somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes back out to the Outlands. He becomes king of the Geats.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see any of... Maybe we just see, like, still images of his other exploits, leading the Geats in raiding and racing and whatever else.
This would be a fun place to put in other, like, famous city landmarks to show what other cities have become, or where other cities have sprung up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe there's a city of caves somewhere in the Rockies, or in the Appalachians. Maybe we have a floating city somewhere in Florida.
I like the idea of this montage happening, and slowly the areas that he has to travel between get smaller and smaller as Evil Corp takes over the land.
Yeah, we see more Evil Corp logos in the background as time progresses.
Yeah.
Less Coca-Cola, less Deloitte, less McDonald's, more Evil Corp.
Yes.
Because we're still going to take those real-world advertising dollars.
Hell yeah.
Movies don't pay for themselves.
They can't tell if we're making fun of them.
Dude, I watched Tom Hanks's The Terminal today. A movie about a man who is stuck between international borders because one of them ceases to exist while he's in the air. And every fucking shot has a Borders bookstore in the background. Fucking subtle, Steven Spielberg.
I miss Borders.
Me too.
I miss bookstores. I can't read, but they smell nice. So what is it that brings our Beowulf back to Canyon City?
Would it be too on the nose for it to be the death of Hrothgar?
I don't hate that.
Like he comes to pay his respects?
I thought the last time we just landed on, like, he happened to be in the area and thought to check in.
Which is kind of lame and lazy.
Yeah. But also, but what I liked about it was when he entered town again, it was desolate. Like, the areas that used to be full of community that he was helping prosper earlier in the film were just, like, desolate. Like, the club wasn't there anymore. None of the people were there. It was a completely different city on the inside because of how much things had changed while he was gone. So I kind of like that surprise element of it.
Here's an idea that I'm having now. What if what brings him back to Canyon City is he hears tell of someone new? A new legend that's maybe even greater than him. And that's, ultimately, we find out it's the dragon android.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's a matter of his pride that brings him back.
I like that. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have to find this new guy who thinks he's hot shit and prove to him that I'm the hottest shit.
And I feel like this section of the movie is a very old guy on one last run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Grizzled old Kratos-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Coming back to Kansas City. Kansas City? Canyon City.
Canyon.
Ready to
Jason
fight.
Kelsey.
Somebody has been watching a lot of Wizard of Oz recently.
I wonder why that could be.
Oh, there's more to come.
I know.
We've
Tune
got
in
two more.
the
soon
to be a Major Motion podcast.
By the time this episode comes out, our second Wizard of Oz episode will have released, in which I think we're just going to sit down and watch 3 different adaptations of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually looking forward to doing with you.
So back to this story that we're still muddling through.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back to Canyon City to root out these rumors about a new legend who's supposed to overthrow his stories. At this point, Hrothgar is dead, and I want to say it's now Unferth who's in charge at Hewrath.
That sounds right.
And Unferth advises Beowulf that there's some new... What is the dragon, like, posing itself as? An athlete? A celebrity?
I don't know if we ever established. I just thought it was like an AI-powered murder bot.
I mean, yeah, that's ultimately what it is, but, like...
He showed up...
What if it's, like, establishing itself as, like, the official government-sanctioned hero of Canyon City? And it works functionally as a superhero, but in reality as just police. A new arm of the police force.
Homelander.
Yeah.
Because...
or the dude from I'm a Virgo.
We had set up the idea that basically when he goes back to visit Hrothgar, that whole level and the level above it are essentially functionally deserted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Unferth is the only motherfucker still there.
Because the dragon has been taking them out.
Yeah.
For minor petty violations.
Yeah.
So yeah, like...
Courtesy of Evil Corp.
Superhero cop.
Okay.
RoboCop if he hasn't woke.
Yeah, like, he's on tubes of toothpaste and candy bars, so the kids love him. But he's really just out there punching homeless people and petty thieves when the real criminals are funding his project.
ACAB includes the Paw Patrol.
ACAB includes Date.
ACAB includes Virgil Tibbs.
ACAB includes Soichi Adachi. And the Florist of Sai.
But he got kicked out of being a cop and became a surveillance criminal instead.
And then became a cop again.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, he comes back and finds Wiglaf. Wiglaf tells him about the dragon, who's kind of like a Homelander figure. He's cleaned up the streets courtesy of Evil Corp, and everybody says he's the greatest. But look at his greatness here, as he kind of motions towards the desolate street. Well, then, I guess we know what our job is. Right, Wiglaf? What do you mean, we?
And he, like, comes out, like, with a cane that he's manufactured on his own, like, with a prosthetic leg he's built on his own.
He's just a pirate at this point.
Pretty much.
I like the prosthetic leg. Instead of a cane, he's got a staff. And he knows how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, we, boss? And I want to say he goes up to, like, the top. Like, the richest corpo district.
Because we wanted to get the fun visual of being at the top.
Mm-hmm. All the luxury brands have their stores up there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say that Unferth tells him that their Evil Corp is throwing a parade to honor the dragon today. And that's why he goes there specifically.
Yes.
To crash the parade and ambush this guy he knows nothing about.
And I think we had established in our original episode that the dragon is literally modeled after young Beowulf.
Yeah.
It's like a young Beowulf, but like shiny and kind of gold-ish.
Yeah.
Because of all the data that Grendel's mother collected on Beowulf during that whole sequence.
Yeah.
Through all the security cameras and everything.
Yep.
They were able to, like, basically map out how he would act, what he would do, say, look like, all that. And they modeled the dragon after him.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also, and maybe we can even get this told visually, those cameras all the way back in the beginning when he was fighting the Grendel team.
Yeah. Even back to that.
Also, the brain goo from his friends.
Yeah, we had established prior that because it's running on that Grendel's mother program, the AI, the soul box.
Yep.
That they specified his group that they took in to... They taught the AI mostly off of his friends.
Grendel's mother 2.0.
Yeah, basically. So, and maybe at some point while they're fighting, the dragon speaks to him in the voice of some of his friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a real knockdown, drag out. He is not totally outclassed, but you can tell that this is not an easy fight for our Beowulf.
They're both getting thrown through buildings.
Yeah.
Big drops off from level to level, like they're going up and down a few levels.
And like
a bridge gets fucked up at some, like one of them goes through a bridge at one point.
Like it's clear that the only reason that Beowulf is going to win this is because ultimately the other creature, it's an incredibly powerful machine, but is only a machine.
I don't think it is clear Beowulf's going to win this. I think the machine starts over. The machine doesn't get tired, and old man Beowulf gets tired.
The machine, one of the things the machine has is like rocket boots.
Yeah.
Because I do want them to travel a lot during this fight, and I want them to go up and down. But ultimately, I want the fight to end on the natural rock rim above the top level of the city.
I thought we had it ending on the water factory.
You had suggested that. Because the idea was
did we not end up there? We still... Oh, no, you're right. We did end up on top of the ridge. Yeah.
Because it would be like a sunrise-sunset moment.
Yeah.
So it ultimately ends with the last thing is Beowulf slamming, like the dragon using its rocket boots to rocket pile drive him onto the rock up on flat surface level. But he reverses it and smashes the machine down instead. And then the machine goes to jam like a needle tendril into his neck so that we can sort of transfer into a computer black void where they're both just floating and talking.
Yeah, the dragon decides the way to defeat Beowulf is to assimilate Beowulf, enmesh Beowulf.
Yeah.
And Beowulf goes, I can't beat this thing with my fists. Maybe it's time to fire up the old thinker and beat it with my mind, and accepts the enmeshing.
And I think that, like, this conversation is cut back and forth between them, like, floating in the void and talking, and Beowulf, like, throttling the body of the dragon. And finally, at long last, the dragon is dying. This choke, just straight up choking it out, is killing it.
Maybe we see, like, because this is a robot, right? It's not an actual, like, living creature?
Correct.
So, like, maybe we see, like, hydraulic fluid start to, like, burst out, like, spray out from the neck where Beowulf is throttling it. Like, he's actually cutting off, important aspects of the robotics.
Yeah. And, like, we've already seen he, like, broke the arms when they landed. So now he's just choking it out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the discussion in the computer space, because I feel like this is the real climax, and the choking out is just visuals. The machine talks to him using the faces and voices of his friends before going back to itself, talking about, like, all that you've done, and now you're going to die. And Beowulf saying, I may die, because the robot also points out that they've built me once. They're going to rebuild me. They're going to make 1,000 of me. And there'll only ever be one of you. And our hero can say, like, that's the point. There may be 1,000 of you, but none of you will live. I may die, but I'll die a legend. And that's something you'll never have.
Yeah.
So that we kind of blend the cyberpunk Blade Runner downer ending of, the machine is right. Evil Corp definitely wins this one in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to roll out a whole nation of new gold Beowulfs, but none of them are going to be Beowulf.
Yeah.
They're still imitations.
Yes.
I want the final blow to be, like, simultaneously in the brain space and in real world space. He's winding up a giant knockout punch to finish him off, punches the head clean off the dragon, and then drops down dead immediately after.
It's the, like,
because his brain is also in the dragon now.
To the knees and then collapse.
Yeah.
My only sticking thing is I want Wiglaf to show up and have a like record Beowulf's final words.
Well, Beowulf isn't saying anything out loud. This is all in the dream space.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so I don't want him to immediately die.
There will only ever be one of me. Is all
yes.
in the dream space.
And so I don't want Beowulf to immediately die when the robot dies. So after he punches the robot's head off and pulls the thing out, he can finally just sit down and breathe. And that's when Wiglaf shows up again in another hover car and sits down next to him as they both watch the sun either rise or set over the city in the canyon. Because I think this is a big, beautiful, this is the closing image, is them sitting as Beowulf dies. But I want him to say, like, one last thing to Wiglaf and then die.
What does he say in...
I could see it being something as simple as, like, I could go for a beer right now, or something along those lines. Or you think they'll remember that one?
How long till they build a statue of me? Not long now, Lord. Not long now, Lord. Look, they've already started. And he just kind of points, and Beowulf, without even looking, just says, good, and dies.
Yeah, I like that.
What do you think, Cody? Did you find anything better in the actual source text?
I'm trying to see if he says anything if he has any last...
You are the last of our family, Wiglaf. All the others fell when fate decided they must. Now I must follow them.
That works. The translation that I grabbed from Libby is weird.
Oh, did you grab the French one again?
Yeah, I think you are the last of our family, Wiglaf. All the others fell when fate decided they must. Now I must follow them.
I think we could probably update that slightly. Be like, I think this is our last adventure, Wiglaf.
You're in charge now, pal.
Don't talk nonsense, Lord.
And then are we going to have a narration out, or...
No, I think just them sitting in silence, Beowulf dying, and the sun either rising or setting. I mean, it's a sunset, no matter which way it actually is.
Yeah.
Like that one Star Wars movie I didn't see. We're in space, it's just a sun going around a planet. But it looks like a sunset, because we're at the end of the movie. And then roll credits.
Yeah.
And then I think there's just like either a mid or a post-credits sting of like, kind of like an iRobot, where there's like that room full of identical robots, but it's Gold Dragon Beowulfs.
Yeah.
And like one by one they all wake up.
Their eyes all start lighting up. But maybe one lights up a slightly different color, because enough of Beowulf has been uploaded to the cloud that he's going to continue to fight them from inside.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. We don't have to say it. Just have one have eyes of a different color, and then that's the sequel. Beowulf Unleashed.
Do we remember... Beowulf.
Okay.
Do we remember any of the casting decisions we had made?
No.
I remember we brought
I don't think I even took notes.
Kirsten Dunst's partner. The guy that Quentin Tarantino got really mad at for some reason. I cannot remember his fucking name. He was in Begonia.
Unrelated, I think we went with, like, Dev Patel.
Did we? I can see us going with Dev Patel for Beowulf.
Specifically, I was pulling from Monkey Man.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons!
I could see him being Wiglaf.
Yeah. He was either Wiglaf or Unferth. I can't remember which.
He's a better Unferth.
And I remember, her name is escaping me right now. Ellen McLean was Grendel's mother.
Yes.
We figured we'll go, like, right straight on the nose for that.
What did she play?
GLaDOS.
Okay. That's what I thought. Oh, that makes my still alive joke even
Yes.
more on the nose.
So Dev Patel is Beowulf then, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Because I think we kind of accidentally cast a bunch of non-white people to be the nomads.
Which was fine.
Yeah. It was just like we had a pretty clear divide in white actors and non-white actors.
Again, fine. Who did we have as...
Did we have Pedro Pascal as...
Did we have Pedro Pascal as Beowulf and Dev Patel as Wiglaf?
No, because I think we wanted somebody younger.
Was Pedro Pascal Hrothgar then?
No, we had somebody older. We had a J.K. Simmons type.
Jeffrey Wright?
Ooh, I like Jeffrey Wright.
For Hrothgar?
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm also realizing Dev Patel because we're kind of mirroring Green Knight here.
There's it's like, what if the Green Knight was cocky and not a coward?
Yes. What if the Green Knight was Lancelot and not fucking...
Yeah, not Gawain.
Yeah.
So then the only other named character that we need is, like, Unferth, right?
Jesse Plemons, no?
Oh.
Yeah, I think we need Wiglaf.
Wiglaf?
Unless we're doing Pedro
Was that
Pascal.
Pedro Pascal? That might have been Pedro Pascal. And that's our big, 5 characters.
Then all that's left, I guess, is the title and the poster.
I don't remember what we actually titled, but I put in the chat, which is still there, a very stylized version of Beowulf with a colon and a backslash in the middle, and the O is a 0.
I do recall Mark hating that.
I also recall Mark hating that, but I cannot for the life of me remember what we actually called it.
It was a one-word title, and it was something like The Warrior.
Oh, yeah, I think it was just Warrior, or... No, because Warrior is a different movie.
Yeah.
Nomad?
It might have been Nomad.
Yeah. I think that gives a different vibe, though.
Yeah, because I wanted to go Legend, but that's a different movie.
I mean, honestly, we probably could just call it Beowulf, because you say Beowulf and then you slap Dev Patel's face on a fucking Mad Max motorbike, people are gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
With a city in the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Just these crazy visuals?
Yeah. Beowulf rides again.
Title Beowulf. Poster is like a view from the top of Canyon City. Maybe with him with like a dune buggy riding on the opposite rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Big dust plume behind it.
Yes.
Tagline is where we can cook.
Yeah.
We can get something good with a tagline.
What if we title it Nomad with the tagline Beowulf rides again?
I think Beowulf's a stronger title than Nomad.
Okay.
Beowulf, Some Legends Never Die.
That was it.
Yeah. Because it plays on the character's goals, as well as the idea that we're taking one of the oldest stories and setting it in an apocalyptic future.
Yeah.
Or dystopic
It's not
future.
apocalyptic, it's just shit.
Dystopic. Yeah, sorry, I used the wrong term.
I guess the last thing, this is a summer blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This feels summer.
This is like a June release.
We're gonna really bum out some English teachers.
Yep.
Yeah, but also, like, we're kind of close.
Like, we're gonna bum out some English teachers initially, and then when they have a really bad hangover and wheel in the TV cart, they've got some fucking fodder.
Oh no, I'm thinking
At
more...
first we're gonna bum them out, but then they're gonna compare it to the Zemeckis, and they're gonna be like,
I'm thinking more, we're gonna bum them out because they're gonna be like, sweet, I can build up a whole curriculum on Beowulf. Fuck, it's not coming out till June!
True.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to recreate our first lost episode.
Is Audacity still running on your end?
It is, and
Thank
also
God.
my backup has been recording this whole time, so I have
hell
2
yeah.
copies.
All right, then we are set.
This has been The Treatment, a podcast about stories, and we've been your hosts, Mark Lucas,
Billy Beck.
And Cody Beck.
and we'll see you at the movies.